Ravens flock? Welcome back to Baltimore Talk. This is your host, Anthony Probst, and I gotta tell y'all, preseason week 2. I don't know, guys. We had it going at one point. I don't really know where to break it down, where to say it, but we really had things going for us. First quarter, first half, it was good. I think we did pretty well, but like I said last week, I know people say preseason don't count, preseason don't matter, but to me it does count. To me it does matter, because just like everything else, it's people trying to get a spot on the roster. It's people trying to show off their talent, show off their skills, and we had some good things going for us. We showed out, we balled out, but it wasn't enough, and there were some key points, some key elements, and I've been seeing a lot on social media, especially like on Facebook, a few groups that I follow that I'm a part of that are Ravens fans initiated, saying that Washington was playing their starters the first half while we were playing third and fourth stringers, which, not going to really deny it, not going to really comment on it, but we all know as a Ravens flock how that one goes. But, yeah, we were in Washington as a visiting team, and like I said, we did do pretty well. We did hang in there. We did hold it down just a touch, just a tad. But again, I know it's preseason, but I feel like we could have done better. I do feel like there were certain areas, certain spots that we could have handled, certain things that we could have done, and it didn't resonate well with me. Like I said, some areas, certain spots, we had it going, but not all of them really were that well. Yeah, but I'm going to just get into it. You guys know how I do. Like I said last week on the first episode of this season, that it's going to be a little shorter. It's going to be more of just a brief synopsis, brief run through of things. Not really like, my usual breakdown, play by play. Yes, I will highlight certain things, certain elements, but it's not going to be a first thing. And starting off, the first thing was, again, like last week, we won the coin toss, but this time we elected to receive. And as I've said numerous and multiple times, when you win the coin toss, you want to defer because you don't know how that first half is going to go. And based off of our first half, we should have received, deferred. As I say, we should defer because we did halfway decent, I'll say. We did halfway decent during the first half, but there were definitely some mistakes and some things that could have been done better and just should have been done properly, but we elected to receive. And just like starting off last week, we had Josh Johnson as our quarterback, who respectfully should have stayed in the game the whole time, but I ain't going to say nothing anymore on that one. We did get an injury update. Backup quarterback. What? Lord. I promise I'm not a fake Ravens fan. Lord, why? Why? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I apologize, Ravens flock, to why our backup quarterback's name is. Nope. What? Oh my goodness! Why is it killing? It's killing me. It's killing me. Hold on, guys. I gotta think. My brain's a little. I know that was my excuse last week, but my brain's a little scattered. Wow. The deafening silence is really bothering me. Why is our backup quarterback's name not coming to mind right now? Oh my goodness. There's Lamar Jackson, Josh Johnson, Anthony Brown. Nope, I'm losing it. Why am I losing it right now? Oh my goodness. Hold on, guys. This is crazy. What is happening here? Ravens flock, I figured it out, and I apologize. Tyler Huntley, I told you guys it was on the tip of my tongue. I promise I'm not a fake Ravens fan, but his injury, he did get hurt in preseason last week, week 1. He is going to be out for the rest of preseason, but it's not going to be like it's crazy, not going to be like bad. But he is going to be out he was out this past week, and again, that happens. Luckily, it's only preseason. It's nothing crazy, nothing like we can't handle. But again, Ravens flock, I apologize. Tyler Huntley, our backup quarterback to Lamar Jackson, and then Anthony Brown is his backup. And even though I'm not going to speak politics, I wouldn't even say it's politics. I'd say I'm not going to dog him. I'm not going to dog him because that would be disrespectful and that would be rude. But Tyler Huntley did get hurt, like I said, and we had Josh Johnson in again, and Anthony Brown did come later. But let me get back into where we should be. Starting off with the first quarter here, 1st and 10 on the first play, Justice Hill, he gets a full 10 yards. Second play, it was an incomplete pass to Kohler, who, oh my goodness, this man had a night on Monday night. It was crazy. 2nd and 10, Zay Flowers, he gains 11. 1st and 10, Justice Hill again gains 13. 1st and 10 for the next one, he gains 16. So they were just chugging and charging down the field. Then on the next play, Zay Flowers gets a 26-yard touchdown. Oh my goodness. This is why I said he has been our best acquisition to the team on top of Odell. Like, though him and Odell are going to be our two biggest weapons this year, on top of our already Mark Andrews, Marlon Humphrey, Devin Duvernay, Marlon Humphrey, who for defense, he's hurt and might be going through surgery, so he might actually be out for a good chunk of the season, as they have released and have announced, and he does want to play. He does want to come back. It's not something that's going to keep him from being out of the game for all season. So we will see Marlon Humphrey back on our defense later this season. When that is, don't know yet, but we will have him back. But that was just a little extra on top of the beautiful touchdown that Zay Flowers had. Oh man, it was great. And obviously we know Justin Tucker, best kicker in NFL history, again, on our team, absolutely killed it, got us the field goal. No surprise there. Not even a question, not even a contest. But moving on to the Washington side of the game, they ended up running a decent amount of time. They actually, unfortunately, they were charging down the field too. They ended up holding the ball longer and having more possessions than we did. Granted, that's just how good we get things done, quick and easy. But after running down 9 minutes and 10 seconds of the game, they end up getting stopped on a 4th and goal and have to kick a 21-yard field goal and end up putting it at 7-3 with 3:11 left on the clock. And then as we move it down, we end up getting stopped. Melvin Gordon, he was also a beast and a monster on Monday night. I don't even know how to describe or even tell you guys. Like, this guy was absolutely nuts and absolutely crazy. Like, I literally can't even explain it or can't even express it. This man was absolutely balling. Like, he was a straight baller on Monday night against Washington. Absolutely ridiculous. And in a good way, of course. In a good way. But after that, we ended up having to punt the ball away with 1:13 left. And not really much happened for the rest of that. Literally, it was 1:13. So then, starting the second quarter, Washington was on 2nd and 5, and they ended up throwing a pass. We ended up breaking it up, and we got a pass interference flag. Now, on this play right after that, 1st and 10, there was 2 flags, both on Washington, so this really messed them up. First one was an ineligible man downfield, which that penalty was declined because it was offset by the holding penalty that they got. So they were on 1st and 20, gain of 3, yada, yada, yada. Didn't really do much until they ended up having a punt, kick it away, and we ended up getting down to our 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, but then on 3rd and 3, our man, Patrick Ricard, finally getting some love and some attention already this year. He ended up getting the first down. So then, Josh Johnson, our QB, he ends up on a 1st and 10, keeping it for 6, then moving it again. Kohler, again, he gets, oh my goodness, this pass, beautiful 28 yards, absolutely stellar. Oh, man, I don't even know how to talk about it. I don't even know how to describe it or even say it. And then, 1st and 10, DeMars Jr., he ends up gaining another 12-yard pass. But after that, we're now at a 1st and 10, then a 2nd and 3. And the pass, it was trebled, then it was intercepted and ran into our territory for 57 yards. We ended up messing that one up big time. Big time. Like, he had it, it bobbled a little bit, and then it was intercepted, and I was very disappointed, very upset. Again, as a Ravens fan, it didn't really go well for that part. But as they ended up having it, moving down the field, hit the 2-minute warning, they end up getting there. They end up getting a touchdown. There was a flag for unnecessary roughness on both teams because there was a late hit on our part. Then a little bit of a skirmish and a fight broke out, and the unnecessary roughness on both sides. And it wasn't great. It wasn't good, but those things happen. And at least it was on both sides. It wasn't like it was one-sided. It was both teams that ended up getting the penalty, getting the flag. So that's why things went down like that. Then, this here. We're in the last 2 minutes. There's a minute 49 left when we started. 1st and 10. Kohler gets a deep 33-yard pass. There was a flag, which, oh my man, this one really benefited us. It took 3 plays. On that flag, it was illegal hands to the face on Washington. So that gave us some extra yardage. Next play, 1st and 10. Deep pass, and it was incomplete. But there was a second flag, and it was because of pass interference on Washington. So, okay, 2 nice flags that really help us out. Then, now it's 1st and goal. Tylan Wallace gets a beautiful touchdown pass. And again, Justin Tucker, I don't know why I keep pausing, why I keep stopping. I'm losing my marbles here. 1st and 10, 1st and 10, Howell from Washington, their QB, Sam Howell. I believe that was his name, correct? Yep, Sam Howell. Just had to check my deeper notes. He ended up getting sacked for a loss of 6 yards. Then after that, it literally just went to the end of the first half as we move into some things. And right before the half, literally with 12 seconds left, Washington scored. They ended up scoring, and we ended up just needing it to end the second quarter. So with that being said, going into halftime, it was 17-14, Washington on top. And I will say, it was a back and forth. It was a dogfight, this, that, and the third. But we really, I'm going to be honest, I did have some thoughts. I did have some things to say for halftime, once we went into halftime. My first thing, especially, we need to learn to wrap up more. Like, I know that these aren't our heavy hitters, our main guys, and our first strings, second strings, whatever. These are backups to our backups. But still, like, these are football 101, fundamentals. You need to, when you go to tackle, you wrap up fully. And then, if you can, gang tackle. So 2, 3 people on one guy, especially when we were in the backfield, because we got to the backfield a lot. But these guys, yes, they were giving us the shake moves, giving us the stutter steps, breaking ankles like it's the NBA, but still, one arm tackling isn't going to cut it. Not in this case. And we really could have did it better. Especially just, like I said, in the backfield, we had it better going for us. Then we need better pass coverage. Like that, I believe that is something, because I know Lamar came out and said that this year is going to be a passing year. So we need better pass coverage for sure. Next one was we need to protect in the secondary. We really need to protect the secondary. So when I say that, I mean on defense. Yes, there is the line of scrimmage where our linemen are moving in, our DNs, our defensive tackles, nose tackle, this, that, and the third. Like, yes, they got it handled. But once we get to the middle linebacker position and beyond, we need to protect that secondary. Because Washington was getting a lot of easy passes right in the middle over the top of our linemen. And yes, they're locked up and handled trying to break the line, but that's where our secondary comes in. We should have had those things locked down and locked in. And then another point I had, we need to watch the ball because we did get a neutral zone infraction during the first quarter. And again, that's football 101. Watch the ball. Don't pay attention to the snap, or don't pay attention to the QB and the count. Pay attention to that ball. When you see it move, then you move. Not before, not after. And I know I'm speaking like a coach, even though I'm not. But that's just a young man who still loves the game of football, loves this team even more than anything, and wants to see them win and succeed. Even though I'm just some guy doing a podcast, just a fan who hopes and dreams one day to make it into this business and into this league, hopefully with this team, fingers crossed, cross my T's, dot my I's, all that, hopefully. But other than that, then we also need to survey the defense more, because that pass that we threw that ended up getting bobbled and intercepted, that could have been avoidable. That one could have been avoidable because, yes, the guy we threw it to was the premier target and premier option, but there were other open options and other things we could have done and other things that could have happened. And when I say that, it's because, again, if we just survey the defense, which means for even my next point, holding our blocks a little longer, we would have things handled just a tiny bit better, And that's really all I got for halftime thoughts. It's going to be the same thing with me every single time, front, back, and forward, same thing. Now, going into quarter three, as we, again, elected to receive at the start of the game, so that means we didn't get the ball to start the second half, which really sucks. And I think, again, I always prefer to defer because as we are now behind, only by a field goal, only by 3 at 17-14, this is where we could have turned things around a little faster. So as Washington moves down the field, as we get through, they end up having to punt after four runs, incomplete pass there, short gains here, so not really going forward. Then, once we start, Anthony Brown checked in for QB. So as we move down, as we get things going, we get to our first set of runs. We end up clearing it because Anthony Brown ended up having a scramble and ends up getting the first. Then on 1st and 10, he ends up having a run again for 4. 2nd and 6, though, Keaton Mitchell, oh my goodness. This man, he had me jumping up out of my seat because he ends up running for 34 yards. 34 yards. Like, yes, as a team that, again, like I said, is going to be switching to more of a passing style this season, as they've said already. This one was great. Like, anytime a player runs for more than just the first and gets past even 5 after that, it's you jump up out of your seat and you start yelling, go, go, go. But yeah, I that one was, whoo, and it was good. So now James Prochet, he could have done. He didn't hit his usual quality standard, but he didn't really play that long and play that much, so I'm not going to hold it against him, like I said. But after that, there was a flag thrown, and that was a mistake on the referee's part because they ended up saying that they were wrong. I made a mistake. They quoted Steve Harvey on that one. I made a mistake, so nothing there. Then, 3rd and 1, we end up getting the first down, 1st and 10. My man, Vokalek, who he's one of our newer guys, ends up getting a touchdown. And he was killing it. He was really crispy on Monday night. So now, after that beautiful touchdown, beautiful field goal by Justin Tucker, it's 21-17. Ravens back on top, as it should be, because we're Baltimore. It's what we do. So then next, as we move down, Washington goes through it again. 1st and 10, 2nd and 3, 1st and 10, 1st and 10, 2nd and 5, 1st and 10, yada, yada, yada. Again, shorter episodes because it's only preseason. But they get the 4th and 6, end up kicking a 49-yard field goal. It was good. So now with 3:48 left in the third, it is 21-20. Baltimore still on top, as it should be. So now, Owen Wright, another name that's not been vocalized yet, he ends up running for 6. Then as we move it down, we end up having a punt, unfortunately. So on 1st and 10, this one was a big play here. 1st and 10, the Commanders go to hand it off, end up running, get taken down, fumble the ball. Houston Carson, my apologies. Houston. I did write a few names backwards. I apologize for that one. He ends up getting a big return. Off of that one. So now it's 1st and 10. We end up gaining 3 because of Anthony Brown. 2nd and 7. Gain of 4. 3rd and 3. No gain, which ends the 4th. So now it's 4th and 3 as we start. Commanders, we end up catching them on the hard count. You know, they caught us. We caught them. Tit for tat. So now it's 1st and goal. We get lost in the backfield. Then 2nd and goal. Anthony Brown had to dump it. 3rd and goal, though. Vokalek, again, second touchdown. Had it going. Killed it. Got that. And we end up trying to go for 2. You know, put it out of the reach of them getting past. We go for the 2-point conversion. We end up jumping off sides. I don't see how that one worked out, which unfortunately it didn't. So then they end up having to pull it back, making it a 1-point attempt. We got it, though, because it was a field goal. So now it's 28-20. And as we know what the final score was, we didn't have it. But as we move down to Washington's game on their play of 3rd and 5, Tay Hayes on Baltimore, number 18, he ends up catching an INT, an interception. Absolutely great for us. So it flips us back to where we can put it out of their hands, where we can take it down. And unfortunately, as we move it down, move the chains, don't really go anywhere. Washington ends up getting the ball back because after we punted, they move the ball, move the chains, and now on their 1st and 10, they only gain 1. It was 2nd and 9, and then they end up catching a touchdown, as we call a penalty for a face mask, which sucked. And we hate to see it. So now they go for the 2-point, try and put it one up above us, or technically try and tie us. But Caillou Kelly, one of our new defensive players, he ends up slapping it, saying, nope, sorry, not today. And their 2-point attempt was no good. So now it's 28-26 with 4:08 left in the game. Baltimore still on top. 1st and 10, Anthony Brown, he gets a beautiful 25-yard carry. And I have to say, that one was great. As we move it down just a little bit more, our guy, Dante DeMoss, and that's who it was. I meant to say earlier. I don't know why I messed his name up earlier. Dante DeMoss Jr., he ended up getting injured, but he's all right as of right now. Nothing too bad. Then we end up having to punt the ball away. 1st and 10 for Washington. They end up hitting an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, they end up getting a false start on themselves. So they pull it back. We get to the 2-minute warning now. And this is where things start to get shiesty. 2-minute warning, they gain 9. 2nd and 1, there was great coverage, so they had to throw the ball away. 3rd and 11, they end up throwing an incomplete pass. Now it's 4th and 11. We take a timeout. We got pass interference on the play, guys. Pass interference, because why would we not? So now 1st and 10, they convert. 1st and 10 again, 2nd and 10. They only get 6. They take a timeout. We take a timeout in response right after that. So now it's 2 timeouts them, 1 timeout us. Third and 4, they convert. Take a timeout. So now it's 1-1 each. 1st and 10, pass incomplete. 2nd and 10, same thing. 3rd and 10, after 8 yards, they take a timeout. 4th and 2, their field goal is good. And now it's 29-28 with 10 seconds left. We get the ball. We have one shot, one play, one opportunity. I hate to quote Eminem. Actually, no, I love to quote Eminem. One shot, one opportunity. Anthony Brown, again, I gave him his flowers for that beautiful 34, 35-yard run he had. And as he did it last year, game on the line, threw a Hail Mary, interception. And that was it. They ended up intercepting it in the end zone, and we lost. We lost. Our 24 consecutive preseason victory streak got broken on Monday night, and so did a little piece of my heart. But during the broadcast on ESPN, they kept just talking about the streak this, the streak that. And again, some of the few groups that I was in and some of the articles that I read, hey, kind of were getting annoyed with them. And a lot of people are happy that the streak's broken. I mean, I'm happy, but I'm not. Like, yes, I care, but yes, I don't at the same time. But just, it really started to get irritating when they were talking about the preseason game streak. But, you know, it is what it is. I guess we can now move on from it and focus on the regular season. But my overall final thoughts are stupid penalties, face masks, gotta stop with them, pass interference. Like, yes, I said I wanted the pass coverage to be better, but not to where it costs us some yards. Definitely not that. And again, Anthony Brown, our third string. I don't want to dog him, but at the same time, again, does great, but then it comes back to bite us at some point. And yes, he is a good player, but things can get messy when the game is on the line. And there were definitely some great plays, and overall, it wasn't good enough. Yes, again, who cares about a preseason victory streak? Like, yes, it is a thing, but yes, it doesn't also matter at the same time. And overall, I loved watching the game, but I was just disappointed at the very end of it. And we could have done better, but as I've said all the time, you win some, you lose some. You got to take the victories when you can, but take the losses when you have to. This one, I guess, was just something that we had to do and take a loss. But overall, we're gonna be back at it next week. We'll be back again. But yeah, the 29-28 preseason week 2 against Washington. They broke, like I said, they broke our streak. Could have kept it going. Should have kept it going. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And we almost had it. But next week, preseason week 3, will be the last one. And then September 11th starts the regular season. Our game is that following Sunday, but we got to get through week 3 first. Ravens flock, thank you all again for listening to another episode of Baltimore Talk. I have been your host, Anthony Probst, and I will catch you guys next week and next time.